Trade recap for today. Took two trades, one loss because Trump decided to bend me over a table for absolutely no reason, and then got my get back with YM. So we'll go over YM first. Um, Coming into the day, I was very bullish. If we just take a look at NQ on the daily, we can see that we had C1, C2, C3, C4, right? So yesterday was a new phase of price. So even with us sweeping previous day high and closing below, I really don't care. I was expecting that to happen because I was expecting a new phase of price. So I was bullish. We also had this SMT with Friday's low with YM. So once we made that yesterday, I was pretty set in stone on us being bullish today. So um, let's go down to the 4 hour. All right, so okay, so with the SMT with previous day low, like I said, and then we formed this SMT with this previous 4 hour candle. Obviously, this SMT was never tapped, so we have a low of day established, right? I mean, this SMT was put in and it was never touched. We traded away from it with news, so this is our low of day. There's no reason for us to come back to this, right? And then if we also look here, we have this SMT right here, which is just another reason for us to continue to trade away, right? Establish low, no reason to come back to it. So once we expanded with news, really wanted to get on side around 9:30, but there was no entry. I did take an entry on NQ, but you know, we'll get into that. But yeah, so 9:30 opened. Was looking like we were just gonna straight up expand, and then Trump spoke. Trump speaking gave us a pretty hefty dump with some manipulation. But that manipulation was good. We had this SMT here with this hourly candle, and then also had an SMT with this previous hourly candle. So once we put in the SMT with all the way down here with these lows, I mean, there's just no reason for YM to retrace any lower. So I wanted to see 10 a.m. just really just expand. And we can also see that YM gave us a very shallow retracement, right? So if we take a look at NQ, at market open, yeah, right here. So market open, we can see NQ gives us a really big retracement, right? But YM barely went below these lows, and once we went below these lows, we were just struggling to continue. So to me, this is obviously YM being the strongest asset. That was confirmed here with this bullish candle. We got the CISD on YM, but we didn't on NQ. So here, I could have entered purely off of this, but I wanted to wait for some sort of continuation just to get extra confirmation, which we got that right before 10 a.m. We got this CISD right here. And then also, I forgot to mention this. We also got this 30-minute continuation here. So that was protected low to trade away from. But anyways, yeah, 10 a.m. 3 minutes before 10 a.m. we got the CISD, so I just market ordered. You could have limited, doesn't really matter. I just wanted to market orders to make sure I didn't miss the move. And yeah, about 2 RR. Only one up, 1 RR in the day, which, you know, would have been more if Trump didn't, you know, open his orange mouth. But anyways, that's the trade for YM. Super simple. I really only targeted previous day high because I was expecting for us to take previous day high on YM, and then for us to get a strength switch, and for NQ to expand to all-time highs. And with me expecting that strength switch, I wasn't exactly sure what YM was going to do. I didn't know if YM was going to continue to expand or not. So I just TP'd at previous day high. But obviously we continue to expand, but not that much, you know, because obviously we get this strength switch. We expand a little bit more, but then we just start chopping, right? And if we take a look at NQ, while YM is chopping, NQ is expanding, right? So there's another example of a strength switch. But let's get into the NQ trade. This is the trade y'all really wanted me to talk about because I think y'all struggled a little bit with NQ today. So I'll get into this shit over here after. But I already talked about the SMT we had with the daily. This is this SMT over here. Is it? Yeah, it's right here. So this is this SMT. We had that SMT low inside of a 4-hour value gap. So to me, there's no reason for price to trade its previous day low. That's number one. This is the SMT low. We formed the low inside of a 4-hour value gap. No reason for price to return to this area, right? Then overnight, we get a 2-stage SMT. So we get an SMT with these lows right here. Is that a 4-hour? Yeah, it's a 4-hour. So we get SMT with previous 4-hour or these hourly lows, whatever you want to say, which was also in the same 4-hour fair value gap. So we have an SMT low inside of a fair value gap. So once we form this SMT and we got displacement back in the range, that's my established low of the day. There is no reason for price to come any lower. You guys were saying this is failure swings, which if you trade purely T trades probably is considered a failure swing. And maybe Garrett even considers it a failure swing. I don't know. But me personally, I don't. We formed an SMT in this point of interest, and then we formed a 2-stage SMT. To me, there's absolutely no reason for price to trade back to this, right? And then that gets confirmed with news expanding, right? Once news expands, we manipulate these highs. I know the 4-hour looks wonky, and you guys are probably skeptical about that, but the name of the game is strength switch, bro. But we'll get into why I took this trade. So news obviously has caused us to expand. I was really just expecting us 930 open, NQ all-time highs, and then strength switch YM takes previous day high. That's what I was expecting at first. But got in, limit ordered to make it 2RR, and then right here, Trump opened his mouth. So, whatever. But yeah, with, like I said, on the YM trade, with him opening his mouth, I gave us manipulation, SMT here. 10 o'clock opens, and literally as soon as 10 o'clock opens, we get a reversal, right? So I was looking for NQ longs to all-time highs, but I just didn't really get an entry that I wanted. I was considering taking this 3-minute fair value gap, but I just decided not to. And then once we were kind of in this consolidation, I was looking for something, but I think like right around here, I decided to get off the charts just because we were dicking around. And then, of course, as soon as I get off the charts, that's when we get our, get our possible trade. But I also want to get into this. When I get into this, I don't want y'all to like use this too much because it can mess y'all up. But like you can use it to align with your bias. So 9:30 and 10 o'clock open are very important. So for example, like we get this reversal, right? And we close above 9:30 open. So like I'm sure most of you guys would have been bullish here, but even if you weren't, with us being back above 9:30 open, even after this manipulation, we can just assume that we're going to continue to expand because we closed back above 9:30 open. So there's no reason for 9:30 to manipulate, 10 o'clock to reverse, us to close back above 9:30 open and then go back down. That's not how price works. So 9:30 manipulation, 10 o'clock reversal, we close back above 9:30 open. We can just anticipate price to continue higher to its draw on liquidity. So use 9:30 and 10 o'clock opens to your advantage. They're super, super dope to use. And yeah, like I said, with these quote unquote failure swings, 2-stage SMT inside of a POI, SMT with this daily low, there's just no reason for price to trade to this. Absolutely no reason, in my opinion. Some people might consider it differently, but obviously I was right, so I don't really care. But yeah, I think that's it. Is there anything else? No, not really. That's everything. Yeah. Today was really just a strength switch day. I mean, if you understand strength switching, today was like a cakewalk for you. Because as soon as you get the strength switch with YM, you know that YM is going to expand the previous day high, and then once you get the strength switch back, you know that NQ is going to expand to all-time highs. Oh, and also, why the strength switch was important. We had an SMT with previous day high, so if I want to see price take out previous day high, I need to see a strength switch. which, like I said, we got that right around like 950 is when we got our strength switch. So, once we get, well, I mean, not really. We really got it. Actually, yeah, 950-ish, yeah. I mean, retracement's bigger on NQ, but once we get this strength switch with us having the SMT, I'm not expecting the SMT to hold. So, yeah, super simple today if you understand strength switching. If you don't understand strength switching, then today was probably a little difficult for you. So, yeah, my only advice would be just to study strength switching more. But that's a trade recap. If you guys have any questions, let me know.